Hello there, this is going to be a Kira Precure A mode, episode number 5 review. If you do enjoy, of course, you can leave a like down below, comment or start of it, subscribe if you haven't already, and well, let's get straight into it. So, the beginning of the episode, of course, shows young Yukari, which is her name, just walking down the street. Excuse me. And as she does, she eventually encounters Himari, Aoi, and also Ichika, and they're looking at a cat that is called the Mitsuboshi cat, or the 3-star cat, basically because it's 3 stars on its head, and Ichika wants to pet it. Unfortunately, does not want to cooperate, except for the fact when Yukari ends up coming and slamming Ichika in the face to the ground so that Yukari can pet it because she knows the spots to pet it. So, gets to the point where Yukari ends up looking up, and then the intro comes on. The intro, or the opening, included some scenes from the Mahoutsugai Precure side of the movie for Precure Dream Stars, which I did do a trailer review on I believe I'll put it at the end of the video. But anyways, discarding all of that, after the opening, we then see Yukari again petting the cat, and eventually she walks away. And Himari's like, oh, where have I seen her before? So we shift to a scene in school, and she's like, oh, this is Yukari, and she's just this big school celebrity. She can basically do anything. She can speak English fluently, she can do ballet, and then there's also just anything. She's so beautiful, and she can basically do anything. So, of course, at this point, they were shocked to even see that they were so close to someone. So, Yukari's at one time just sitting in her seat, and eventually it gets to the point where, actually, what is the next image I have loaded up, if it makes sense? Hey, you know what? I'll put back around the screen. But anyways, the next scene we then see is of Yukari, and basically she just sitting in her seat. One of the girls ends up coming up in her class and says, oh, you want to go eat some macaroons at this place that I saw? Or macarons at this place that I saw? And she's like, hey, you know what? Not really. Because the girl ends up saying, oh, you're the girl that can do basically anything. So, Yukari, I think, feels a complex, basically, that everyone thinks that she can do everything, basically because she does. But she doesn't feel all the least happy about it, because things get boring when you're too good at them. So, I can also speak for myself. Not toot my own horn, but I like those Muso games because I'm so good at them. But, I mean, do they get boring? Maybe? Well, that's a little personal problem. But anyways, of course, Yukari at this point rejects and then is just walking by, and she ends up seeing Ichika once again, because Ichika ends up stumbling into her. So, Yukari ends up laughing because she is intrigued by the fact that, Yukari is intrigued by the fact that Ichika can't really get anything right, so she eventually says, oh, you know what, just come with me. So, what she does is then Yukari tries on a whole bunch of different outfits. Ichika says, you look so good in all of them, you're so perfect, you can basically do anything. Even at the crane game, she can basically do what she wants. She grabs all of the prizes all at once. So, gets to the point that Yukari says, oh, well, you know what, I'll see you another day. Except for the fact that Ichika says, let's go check out those macaroons that I ended up seeing in the window. That, Yukari was looking at, and she seemed to have a liking for macaroons and said, they look pretty, but, I don't necessarily dislike them. So, as they try to wait in line, unfortunately, they're sold out for the day, and Yukari ends up leaving. Except for the fact that Ichika then says, oh, hey, you can make macaroons. And that's where little Pecorine was sitting for the next 5 minutes in the show, because of the fact that Yukari can touch anyone anywhere and make them, fall into bliss. So, that's her special talent. But anyways, at this point, we then see, of course, Pecorine on the ground, and Yukari can make the perfect macaroons. Like, she can make macaroons pretty easily, because she can grasp it, while Aoi, Himari, and also Ichiko are having trouble trying to make the first macaroons, when Yukari was able to make them at first, and unfortunately, she was not able to in the straight fact, because of the fact that it had no taste. So she tried again and again, but she couldn't really get to it. So what ended up happening is Ichika ended up combining 2 of the macaroons together, and making it a usual macaroon, coloring it and making it into a cat and saying, here you go, Yukari, here's your macaroon. So, amidst all this point, Makini, which I'm actually going to call the villain for this episode, Makini ends up coming and sucked up the Kira from different macarons and was going for Yukari's. Unfortunately for young, was it Marini? I'm calling it Marini. Anyways, young Marini unfortunately could not do it because of the fact that Yukari ends up stepping in saying that I'm not going to let you, ruin this macaron that was created for me. And, hint, hint, she wanted to protect Ichigo. So, as the Cures ended up transforming and getting pushed back by Marini, Yukari comes out and transforms into none other than Cure Macaron. And oh my goodness, Cure Macaron, fast, strong, elegant, and to be perfectly honest, was predicting Marini's moves a lot in this episode. So, as soon as Marini goes in for a punch, Yukari just holds it back, or Cure Macaron just holds it back, and is like, oh, okay. And ends up jumping around, eventually getting to the point where Marini ends up getting onto its belly and gets it scratched. And it's like, oh, well, she knows the spot everywhere. So eventually gets to the point where she ends up, Cure Macaron ends up getting two macaroons, slamming them together into Marini and pushing Marini away. And that is the end of the battle. So it was very short and sweet, and Macaron basically showed that she's not to be trifled with, and, she's good at everything. So, to be a Precure, it's just another trivial thing that she's good at, but it's something interesting because it's different and not the norm. So, eventually gets to the point where Yukari, at the end of the day, ends up saying, oh, I want to create the perfect macaroons with you, Ichigo, and ends up leaving. 3-star cat comes out and pushes Ichigo down. But eventually it gets to the point where Akira ends up appearing. And if you have been looking at the pictures for Kira Precure A mode, you might already know this character as being, spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Kira Chocolat. So it's going to be very interesting to see what does happen with young Kira Chocolat. So anyways, if you did enjoy this Kira Precure A mode episode number 5 review, you can of course leave a like down below, comment on what you thought of it, subscribe if you haven't already. The right side will be the subscribe button, the left side will be the Precure Dream Stars trailer review. So this has been Mugen93. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.